Hi everyone, you are watching On Camera and I'm with Mike Below, the only one. In today's editorial, let's talk about real men getting tired of seeing many women bearing nothing in the wrong context due to their attention-seeking disorder. Before we continue, hit the like and subscribe button to partake future and important subjects. Time may be passing, as it never be stagnant, and past generations may look or be different than the present one. But the core values that form a sane society will always remain the same. The formation of a society is nothing but the gathering of the denizens in an area from different households, who over time develop a set of habits which become shared and cultural or moral values. Having a good society highly depends on the efforts and the teachings that the parent exercise in the upbringing of their progenitors in every household. Although there is no guarantee in predicting what a child will become simply because he or she was raised by both members of their family, however, most of us will agree that the chance of that child in becoming a contributing element to society is much greater than if he or she was raised only by a single parent. I'm sure there are exceptions in the real world where either a mother or a father alone has successfully raised a child or children, but we're analyzing things based on most cases. It is not by coincidence that nature has created two different sexes to procreate, while each will play a distinctive role in nurturing and raising the child that the two have conceived. To live in a society as social animals requires a bare minimum of boundaries or rules that differentiate us humans from the rest of the other animals. Civility, in my opinion, will be the word that describes or puts us at the highest level, where we can distinguish what we call good and bad behaviors based on the cultural or moral values that we have set forth in our society or community. The big question is, are we really civil by the true meaning of the said word? Sometimes I find myself pondering on the lack of civility from humans based on the way they interact with each other. Empathy is an epithet amongst other qualities such as the ability to reason and make critical decisions are some of the things that make us somewhat civil. Therefore, when looking at society today, one cannot help but wonder, how do we get to be where we are at now? Not too long ago, in the early 80s, people in a community used to interact with one another with a more human touch, respect, and with a sense of responsibility for the self, including their loved ones. Now, with the advent of technology and social media, the moral concept of self-preservation and decency is almost non-existent, whereas nakedness has become ubiquitous on every platform as well as in the club settings. Most women or young women today have left nothing to a man's imagination by freely and explicitly exposing the holy temple for the world to see as some cheap exhibits. I just can't fathom the mere concept or the moral judgment of many women presenting their nakedness as their talent or skill set, thinking that high-valued men or even the average man will see them as marriage material. Who in the world would take any woman who is freely and publicly exposing what was supposed to be her most heavenly treasured gift seriously? In today's society, the real men are really tired and are saturated of your offering your naked body everywhere as your skill or your talent. Many of you look cheap after showing all your tattoos and stretch marks in all your private places. May I clarify that there is nothing wrong with stretch marks, as we know why they occur as natural process. But not every man wants to see you deliberately flaunting them day in, day out in our faces as if there were trophies to be acquired. Many of you are being sold with the feminist idea or concept that if you have it, then flaunt it, and that is your right to express. As a matter of fact, none of us is saying the contrary. as if you don't have the right to do whatever you wish. We're just telling you that exposing your nakedness is not the meaning of being sexy. I personally know, and I have seen so many women, men like me, have considered really sexy without having to show off their flesh or any private parts. Not all of us are excited to see your free display or publicity. Some of us can recognize a real woman, or the ones we will introduce to our mothers. These online notorious behaviors simply show that many women don't have a mother or a father or any family member who cares enough to call them out on this cheap behavior that will surely hinder their possibility of having a functional family in the near or far distant future. If any of you think that having the ability or the capacity to bear children is what considered forming a family, then you need to think again. The latter requires more than just pushing a child or children by different men who are very often absent in the upbringing process. I don't intend to play the role of your parents, nor that I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm simply expressing my opinion and sharing the thought of so many men who partake the same judgment of women who engage in this kind of practice. Most men express that they are just fed up with this generation of women. Not every man grew up seeing their mother flashing their body to anyone other than their husband in the privacy of their bedroom, much less for the world to see. Many of us would prefer you to have self-respect, not only for you, but for the community that you are evolving in. It's okay to most of us to be the freak or the wild woman that you so desire in the privacy of a 4x4 wall while you keep your clothes on in public. Trust me, many of us know how to remove all the layers to reveal your glorious birth suit for our eyes only. Back in the good old days, there was an art in courting a woman. Men used to take pride in their sending handwriting letters or notes via a mediator to the girls that they were trying to win their heart over. The waiting period was worthwhile because back then, women were not behaving like some cheap exposed items at a flea market. In this modern world, too many of you are posting photos online, wearing your panties with bras in the wrong setting. I don't know why in the world many women think that good men want to see them in their underwear while standing at home in a bathroom that is reserved for private activities. It will make sense if you were at the beach and you want to show off that body of yours that you've been working on in the gym. High-valued men that many of you are dreaming of getting are in turn looking for more traditional women who can look sexy by just covering up their golden prize in a beautiful sexy dress. Real men want to be impressed by women's eloquence and the way she can upload a lengthy, substantial conversation. It is that enigmatic smile and suspense that intrigues high-valued men in wanting to discover any hidden treasure. Most women today tend to carry all their guts in a transparent bag that even working through the security airport will not even trigger the security's attention. They have seen it all. It is patently evident that many women today are seeking social validation by posting naked pictures of themselves as replacement for the skills lack thereof. Women who use their body for monetization have certainly learned the art of manipulation. Usually, these types of women aren't seeking to be in an intimate relationship because of mutual feelings. They are often fake as they come, and they only look out for their own interests. Many of us men hope to see that women will bring sexy back, just like it used to be in the era where women will cover themselves up by handling any excessive cleavage that will eliminate any misconstrued or the perception of that of a female escort. There is a clear indication that a vast majority of women who have circulated the streets butt naked or topless if only they knew that the law wouldn't slap them with an indecent exposure fine or imprisonment. Back in the days, most women would be duly noted for their skills, their talent, their behavior and conservativeness by the men in their village. Many young and older women today are substituting their body in lieu of true and real talent just to seek attention or a few hundred likes on the internet. Most men only ask that you take a minute to think of what your children will think of you when they become grown adults. I know that some will be ashamed of your past behavior as their mother. Most of you can be or look sexy without having to reveal it all. Although many men are attracted by your overall look, but most men are more interested in your intellect, good manners, your companionship, and your ability to share an unselfish life. For On Camera, I'm with Mac Billow. Until the next time, please subscribe and share the link.